Hi, my name's Leonie Shanahan and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a no-dig garden. You're probably asking, why a no-dig garden? To me, it's the most healthiest, nutritious garden you can have to grow your vegetables in. Australia has one of the oldest soils in the world, so when you water in that soil mix that you're paying a lot for, it's actually got no life, no nutrition in it. So you're much better off making a no-dig garden where the soil life comes very quickly and your veggies will grow very quickly as well. So let's start with the different products you're going to need to build your no-dig garden. So it doesn't matter if you're going to be on sand, on gravel, on clay, whatever your medium is, we're going to make a no-dig garden and that'll be fine. Great opportunity to go and weed your park or your home. Weeds are fantastic and I'll show you how to use those soon. We've got fertiliser, chicken poo fertiliser. Rock minerals, that's your fertility for your garden. A seaweed and kelp mix. More minerals, it's very important that we get minerals into our soil. And we've got cow poo, we've got chicken poo. Whatever animal poo that you can get close to your home is the best poo to use. We've got beautiful worm castings and we've got compost. Homemade compost is the best, otherwise you can buy the product. We've soaked our newspaper. We've got lucerne. It has to be prime lucerne, it's got to be fresh, it's got to be green, so it's got the maximum amount of nitrogen in it. And we've got a hay mulch. This is sugarcane mulch, but whatever hay mulch you have in your area would be fantastic. And the tool for the day is my little baby fork. So let's get started. Let's get started with our rock minerals. All you need to do is sprinkle these around. Then we're going to add our animal manure. So when you do a no-dig garden, you only ever have to do it once. So what I'm doing here is, in a way, making one garden underneath the newspaper, which we'll lay shortly, and this will be starting to work on the ground underneath, and then we've got the one above, the main no-dig. Now you need to understand weeds a bit better. They're actually full of minerals. As long as you haven't got your nut grass or your running grasses, these are going to help bring fertility to your garden. The more variety you've got in weeds, the better, because that's going to bring in different nutrients into our garden, different minerals, and that's what we want. That'll all break down, the worms will come in and break that down, and you're going to start getting life in there. Now we're going to add a layer of newspaper and we're going to be overlapping it. This is called sheet mulching. Very important. You have it about 10 pages thick or even thicker if you're on really tough grass or something like that. And make sure you overlap it and have it right up to the edges. Make sure you don't use any glossy magazines because they'll put chemicals into your garden and that's what we don't want. I've wet these so it makes it easier for them to break down. Okay, that section's done, the sheet mulching. So our next stage is the actual no-dig garden. So first of all, we put manures at the bottom, just in case they're a bit hot, like chicken manure, so they've got more chance of breaking down a bit faster. Whatever farm is in your area, that's the right manure that you should be using. Local is best. I have chicken and cow here. That's fresh chicken. Make sure you spread the material out to all the corners. We're going to add some rock minerals. And rock minerals you should be adding to your garden every autumn and every spring to keep that fertility going. Next is your lucerne. It must be green, it must be fresh, otherwise you're wasting your money because we want that nitrogen in our garden. This is called a biscuit and we lay it whole, about 10 centimetres, it'll get you going. Once again, don't forget those corners. It's already looking good. Now we need to water that in. Give it a good water. Don't forget the edges. Next is a compost. And once again, anything you can make at home that's fresh is going to be better than something we buy in bags. But not all of us have time, so another option is to actually buy the product in. Still got lots of goodness in there, and it's going to get our garden going. So we just need a layer of this compost. It's a bit like colouring in. Now our next major ingredients is our hay. So this is a dry hay, a mulch hay. It's either cane, pea, whatever's in your area. And it's a big layer. It's a biscuit again. Okay, now we're going to add organic extra, which is your chicken poo pellets. And one of my favourite, worm castings. The best pets you can have, well, besides chickens. Worms everywhere in here. It's a good start. Now we have to give that a really, really good water in because we want this hay to be wet. So you need a couple of watering cans of water. So we've made sure we've given our garden lots of water now because we need moisture to make it all interact. Next we're going to put a layer of compost. Compost is one of the most important things we can ever do for ourselves, for our gardens. Remembering, we only do the no-dig once. So you're not going to be doing this every 12 months. If you want the healthiest food possible, you'll do this. Now we're doing a loose layer of our fresh lucerne. It's what we call fluffing it up. If you get asthma or anything like that, put a mask on, just in case it's dusty. Look at that, don't you want to just lie in it? Next is minerals. So we put our rock minerals in. Now we're putting a variety of minerals in here. Look on the packs, find out information, see what is in here. You want selenium and molybdenum, things like that in there, because that's what isn't in our soils. We need to add them to our no-dig. And you don't need a lot. Now we're going to add a little bit more compost and then we've almost finished. We're going to add our chicken manure pellets because this is really going to heat up our garden and start the breaking down process. Workers of our gardens, our worms and our microbes, and we've put out the party invites for them to come in and work our soil. Next layer is our hay mulch. This final layer we don't want too thick, but we want everything covered up. So we've put our final layer of hay on. Now we need to give it a good drink. We're putting in kelp and fish, and that's got lots of trace elements. Once again, that's something we need from our food for our bodies. And you need to put about a tablespoon into a watering can. That's how I measure. Give it a swirl around. And we'll need a couple of watering cans of this just to really give it a good soaking. Now we need to let this sit for 2 weeks because it's actually going to get quite hot. And that's what we want. We want all that interaction of all that ingredients we put in there to be building soil for us. What you will need to do though is come and visit your garden every day and give it a good water because it needs that moisture for the interaction to build that soil. Then after 2 weeks, we can start planting. And what a surprise you'll get once you put your plants in. And one of the reasons we don't dig our garden is because our life force is in the top part of our soils. So if you dig it, you turn them all upside down. That's why we don't dig. And you save your back as well.